Hello Mayhem Makers, I am Mindy with Quilting Mayhem and we're working on Summer Sampler. I said I'd give you an alternate set of directions for block 9. I know I kind of asked you to get out of your box if you've never foundation paper pieced and give it a try. So hopefully that worked out and you're happy with the block. But if that just was not in your wheelhouse, you didn't want to even try, I am going to give you just the basic, what I call straight piecing, regular quilting method to do it, where it really is just flying geese and a square and a square. So super simple. It is using what I call a waist method of flying geese. I teach it all the time. It is the one I have the most success with. So it's just my preferred, so that it always comes out. I don't have to worry about not hitting that 1/4 inch at the peak of the geese, all those kinds of things. So let's get into it. This is block 9. It was called Both Ways, and let's show you just the regular way to do it. So for the geese, they look like this in the end, right? And you need this 1/4 inch between the tip of this triangle and the top edge. That is the key component, and of course making sure that these diagonals come to this very point for the most success. Now, not super hard if you just follow this basic method, all right? So you're going to start with a rectangle, and then you have your squares with the diagonal drawn on the back. Just put them right sides together, all right? And you're going to sew on that line, not a 1/4 inch away, but actually on that line, all right? So thankfully I have some step outs for you guys. So then it just will be like this. All right, and you're going to trim this part off, and I'll show you how that goes. I'll just move over here and just ignore any messiness you see in the background. Not had a lot of time in my room lately. All right, so laying the 1/4 inch marking line on this ruler right on the sewn line, and we're just trimming that excess off so it will look like this, and then we're going to press it. All right, so it will then look like that. All right, so there's half. You're just going to take the same square with that line drawn on the back. You're going to sew that on right on that line, so then it will look like this. Same thing, right? And then we'll trim it and press it. So same thing over here. Just taking this little 4.5 by 8.5 creative grid. It has a nice 1/4 inch marking line on one side, so you just lay it on that line you stitched. So it looks like that. And then press it open. All right. And then there's your flying geese with your 1/4 inch above this point, and these diagonals come down to the corners. All right. So next step to show you will be the square and the square. So hold on. And of course, it's a side note, you are going to do the same method for this other flying geese colorway that I showed you. So there will be 2 different colorways, but they're all assembled the same. Now, square and a square, you know, there's different ways. You could be trying to work with triangles and those kinds of things. I do not prefer working that way because you have to work with bias and it's stretchy. And once again, yes, a little wasteful, but does it come out every time? Yes. So that is my goal. Sometimes I'm a little wasteful so that I am successful. So you have your main center square, and then you're going to have 4 squares that have diagonals. And so what will happen is we're going to sew on this line, and then what I'm going to do is do the opposing corner. So I do opposite corners first, trim them, press them, and then we'll do the other corners, but we'll show you how this goes. So I'm going to stitch it and show you what it looks like in just 1 second. All right, so as I said, we're doing opposing corners, and we will trim these so that we can put the other sides on. All right, so we'll come over here. Same trimming, you're just lining up that 1/4 inch so that you're giving that little bit of seam allowance in there. And then we're going to press it. I'm going to trim off these little bit of extra threads, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I'll be right back. All right, so looks like that. Just a reminder, if you have not been following along, I do press my seams open. You don't have to, it is personal preference. If you're one that prefers to press one way, just as they say, so to the dark side, so you're potentially going to, or press to the dark side, you're going to press inward towards this yellow citron or whatever color yours may be as you go. And it doesn't matter really one way or the other. Like I said, it's personal preference. So then what's going to happen next? We're going to sew that square on and that square on and trim and be done. So be right back. All right, so we have square and a square. Make sure you are measuring everything as you do them so that they are the correct sizes. Then we have all our geese. All right, and we're going to start assembling. So let's see if I've got enough room over here. Show you how this is supposed to go. Okay, all these magical pieces. Some maybe kind of off screen for you, but we'll sew them together and show you. So what's going to happen, let's see if I can adjust you here a little bit, is I will sew this and this goose to the square and a square, and I'm going to sew these two together on both sides, and then they will get sewn to either side of this unit. All right, so center and outer pieces, and then outer will go to the center pieces. And that's how I will put it all together. Fits like a glove, and we'll show you what the block looks like in just one moment. And one quick reminder before you're done. When you go to sew this long piece onto this unit, please use pins, especially if you're new. Very important quilty tip. Make sure you're pinning at the beginning and end. And for this one, you're going to want to match up your triangles in the middle. These guys, match them up so that when it's all sewn together and pressed and you open it up, your points are nice, matched, not offset. If they're offset a little bit, like a smidge, please let that go. Don't be super OCD about that one. But you want them to match fairly evenly. So put a couple pins in it before you sew it. That will get you the most success in getting a square block. Because I know a lot of you guys come to me and like, why is it all waffly? If you're not pinning and making sure things actually meet at both ends, that is a big culprit of it. All right, so we're almost there. All right, there we go. Both ways block, done, just regular piecing. So flying geese, square and a square. I love it. It's so pretty. I love this block, and it makes a great just quilt on its own. So if you need a next project, this is a nice, easy one. Looks definitely more complicated than it really is. So hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, reach out. Email us, see us at the store, call us, any of that. Gladly help you out. Otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed the summer sampler. And this is the last block, and summer's almost over. So it's kind of sad, but I appreciate all of you that have stuck through all of this. And I really do hope you've enjoyed it. So enjoy the rest of your summer. Keep on stitching.